nice round of applause for the guy sitting at the keyboard, brand new today. Brian Reed sitting in on the piano today. Great playing, love it. Welcome to each of you in the room, and those of you who are joining us online. We belong to each other, yes? Let us affirm that we're all on a journey home. We're all just walking each other home, yes? We're on a journey to our true self. So up on your feet if you are able. Those of you on home as well, up on your feet if you are able. I am on a journey to my true self. Get those hands going. Together we're going to join our voices as one. Here we go. I am on a journey to my true self. Today my sacred journey starts. I am on a journey to my true self. On a sacred journey to my heart. I am on a journey to find wholeness. Today my sacred journey starts. I am on a journey to find wholeness. On a sacred journey to my heart. We're on a journey to oneness, so turn to your left and your right and let somebody know you are grateful they are here this morning. Especially want to be on a journey with all of you joining us online. We're so grateful that you have tuned in, whether it be live or during the week. We're grateful to connect our hearts, to connect our minds, and connect our teachings with each and every one of you. Welcome. All right, folks, let's come on back. Let's put those next verses up on the screen and let's join our voices once again. We're on a journey to find heaven here today. Everybody sing with me. I am on a journey to find heaven. Today my sacred journey starts. I am on a journey to find heaven. On a sacred journey to my... You got one more in ya? Sing it like you mean it. I am on a journey to awaken. Today my sacred journey starts. I am on a journey to awaken. On a sacred journey to my heart. Let's hear that line again. On a sacred journey to my heart. Put a big finish on it. On a sacred journey to my heart. Give yourselves a round of applause. You sound wonderful. And thank God we're making the journey together. Danielle.
Well, good morning, Unity North. I'd say, how are we doing this morning? But I think I can tell a wow from the congregation. And we'll take an amen for that as well. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing your energy. If it is your first time here today and you're wondering, is it always as full of energy? Yeah, it is. And if it's your first time, we're going to invite you up to play an instrument of your choice along here with Brian. We're not... Okay, I guess we're not doing that. But if it's, so we actually had some takers on that. I just want you to know, some risk takers in the congregation said, I will come play for you. But seriously.
We had a tuba player here last week, and he said, sure, I'm in.
That's the community that you are part of today. If you are here for the first time, we won't make you play an instrument, but we do want to shower you with love from your seat. You're safe in your space, but we want to shower you with the love and the journey of awakening that we are all on together. We have a welcome team that's going to look out for your raised hand so that they can help to welcome you as well. So if it is your first time at Unity North this morning, please raise your hand high in the air so we can love, love, love on you. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you, and welcome. Welcome to Unity North. So you may be a visitor today, but you are family from here on out. You can text NEW to the number that you see on the screen, and you will get texts about how to be a part of this wonderful, lively community. And also downstairs after service, there's a welcome table so you don't have to be alone on your first time at Unity North. So come on down, it is beautifully marked. Our welcome team will be there. They have on tags that say, "How can I help?" And they mean it. So welcome, welcome home. We would also like to recognize our prayer chaplains at this time. If it's your first time, you may be wondering what these beautiful people in four corners of the room are doing. Well, they are holding sacred space for us. So thank you to Tara, to Sarah, to Mary, and Teresa for holding sacred space for us this entire service. We have a prayer box that people put their prayers in, and we hold those in loving, welcoming space and see healing and peace in your future. They're available for prayer before and after service, so please take advantage of that. Now it's time for announcements. Here we go. So our first announcement is that happening today is our singles ministry that happens at 1:15 in the Peace Chapel this afternoon. So see you at the singles ministry, 1:15. And on our next announcement, we have a fire and despacho ceremony. If you're wondering what that is, well, then you need to come and find out. It is June 5th at 7 o'clock at the Organic Garden Fire Pit. So when you get here at 7, trust me, you will find the way to the fire and despacho ceremony. In our next announcement, we'd like to tell you about the Fall Prevention and Balance Training Workshop that started this month, so 2 in June and 2 in July starting at 10. You can get more information about that in our app, which is super easy to use, by the way, and you will be able to register and find out more about this workshop. And our last announcement is just a reminder that every Wednesday we have the gift of food. We are able to give food out to the community and serve in that way. So just know that that is happening and part of the you that we put in community. So thank you for that. And I see Reverend Richard getting ready to bless us in song.
Thank you, Danielle. So we're switching, yes, isn't she a light and a blessing in this world and this community? So we're kind of reversing roles a little bit today. You know, we're going to have a fly-up ceremony, and the kids are going to be up here, and Reverend Julie is going to be coming up with them and doing the talk today. So I thought it'd be good for the minister to sing occasionally. I learned a couple of new songs. I had to dig into the old Bob Dylan hymn book. And I figured, given the age of the people here, that you probably would know the lyrics to these songs more than I did. But, oh, you caught it. But right now, we're gonna celebrate the youth that is in each heart. Yes, take a moment, put your hand upon your heart and say, "I am young at heart." Okay, so this is a little Bob Dylan. Please sing along with me as we go. And in Bob Dylan style, you can mumble and nobody knows the difference. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. And may you stay, sing it with me, forever young. Forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. Now may you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light that lives in you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. And may you stay. Come on, everybody. Forever young. Forever young. your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. And may you stay forever young. You got one more shot. Forever young. Forever young. Lord, may you stay forever young. One more time, everybody. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. I behold the child in each and every one of you. Let that child shine. And so, speaking of children, I'd like to invite Reverend Julie up. I'd like to invite Reverend Julie and all of the youth ministry to come forward at this time. It's a very, very special day. And there's lots of magic happening here at Unity North. In the lower floor, we're going to bring a little bit of that magic up onto the platform here right now. So will the inner child within each and every one of you welcome the inner child of those that are making their way to the platform right now? Make a little noise. Come on, let the inner child out. Make a little raucous noise.
And hey, Unikids, can you come and sit on the stairs? Yeah, come and sit on the stairs. Are you going to say?
Am I going to sing?
Say something about, sit right there. The fly up, or no, you don't have to.
I thought we did.
We did.
We're flying up today. Each of us is going to the next level of who we are meant to be, and there's going to be a fly-up ceremony. I thought Julie was going to lead that, we're going to acknowledge those that are moving to the next grade, those that are moving from the journey from being a baby into the kids ministry, from the kids ministry into that wonderful place called middle school. How many remember middle school?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need all the support they can get, and then from middle school, it's also very scary to get into high school. So this is called a fly-up ceremony, and they let each of these kids know that they are in the hands of God, the hands of love, the hands of Reverend Julie Boniger.
That's right, and I was following the rule of always let your boss have the first word or the last word, right?
I'll take the last word, and I'm good with that.
So yes, this is a ceremony that we've done years and years ago, and we're going to reinstate it because you guys have said you want to see more of the youth. We want to see more of the youth. And so this is indeed a fly-up ceremony. And I found a bridge. In the scout world, they call it a bridging ceremony, when you go from like brownies to whatever next flower. And so we have our Unikids in front of us. We have one Unikid, Torin, going to Uniteens, and he could not be here. So I want to just say a little bit about him so that when he watches the video. But Torin will be moving up into Uniteens. I think he's already kind of been down there. But Torin, if you're watching, Torin is one of the most helpful little boys I've ever met. We used to give out sacred jobs on lanyards, and he wanted every single job. He just wants to be in service. He is also one of the most generous and kind children. We did a lesson on prosperity, and I gave everybody a quarter. Do you remember when I gave you guys the money? And Torin said, I want you to go out and use that money for good. And he always helps set up Family Promise with his grandma, who's Vanita. I don't know if she's in the audience. Is she? Are you here? No. So he got up and he said, I want to make an announcement. And I said to the kids, Torin wants to make an announcement. And he said, I want you to go out and do something good with your quarter. And today when I set up, I'm going to put my quarter under the pillow of one of the beds that our Family Promise families are going to find it and know that abundance is theirs. So these are the children that come to Unity. How many wish that you had Unity principles when you were this age, right? And I just couldn't be more blessed than to share. And once I'm in the talk, you'll get to hear some of the wisdom that they share. But Torin, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we'll catch up with you, and you don't ever have to wear a name tag again. That was his thing. He hates name tags. So we love Torin, so we're gonna send him off, and we'll celebrate him later. So now, I wanna introduce Susie, who's gonna be flying up some of our Uniteens.
Uniteens? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to read what I'm going to say because Julie gave me a time limit, and if I just rambled like she did just now, I've been here all night. So,
It's lucky you're the minister's wife.
okay. In 2011, I took on the responsibility of being the Uniteens coordinator for UNA. Working with this age group is fabulous. They come in as kids and they move out as teens. There's so much change, both mentally, physically, emotionally. It's probably one of the hardest transitions in a child's life. I could not do this job without the support of the parents and grandparents who see that the kids get here on Sunday mornings and who support all our activities with their presence. Transportation, food, examples of loving generosity, and I especially depend on the consistency and support brought to our group by our guides, who are monthly volunteers, there to encourage the kids and give me the help I need each Sunday morning. So if you have ever been a guide anytime in this church for Uniteens, please stand up so we can thank you. All right. Thank you all so much. I have the best guides in the whole world of church helpers, and I couldn't be more blessed by those who've helped. In 2018, our Uniteen world shifted as we were displaced from our original rooms in the admin building, and we moved to our current room downstairs. In 2020, we took another hit when COVID brought things to a halt and we were not able to meet in person. We tried Zoom with no success, and so I had an epiphany one day that I would take Uniteens to the kids. So for 13 months, I created lessons, activities, treats, games, and packaged them in a big envelope to deliver to each student's home. Since most everyone was on lockdown, including siblings and parents, I made the lessons for the whole family to have an experience together. I drove for 4 hours, 86 miles every Wednesday to deliver to 21 families. The point of me saying this is that many of these families I had never met in person and didn't even see as we were all in quarantine, and I'd just run up and put the package on the doorstep. The reason I'm telling you this is that this is the first moving up ceremony since before COVID, and these 4 kids who are moving on are the ones who started Uniteens, not having met me or attending class, but learning out of an envelope that mysteriously ended up on their porches every Wednesday for the first year. When we tentatively returned to class again, we were all wearing masks for quite some time. So it was a long, long time before we knew what anyone looked like. Damien, Bennett, and Stella, step forward, please, have been regularly attending from the time we started back and have contributed so much to the experience we have all shared. Each of these kids were recipients of the package, and I had not seen them. I wouldn't recognize them anywhere. For the first year they were part of Uniteens. Before you're going to cross over the bridge, I want to ask each of you, what is something that you will remember from your time in Uniteens? Damien?
Principle number 3.
Which is?
I create my experiences by what
Hold the mic up to your face.
choose to think, and I feel I believe.
All right. Mrs. Bennett?
That's interesting. The difference between adversity.
Hold on just a second. Stella is not actually graduating up into YOU, but Stella is pursuing her career as a magnificent ballet dancer and is going to a school in North Carolina starting this summer and won't be part of our group, but she will always be part of Uniteens, and so we are promoting her even though she won't be there.
The difference between adversity and adventure is attitude.
All right, sit forward. Now, originally, we only had 3 kids graduating, and this morning, this beautiful young lady came up to me and she says, "Hi, I am new, and I will be going into YOU." And we said, "Then we're going to graduate you up." And even though we did not have the joy and pleasure of having her as part of our group, I can just tell that she's got the Uniteen spirit and that she's going to take it and be a great YOUer. Okay, so I have a gift for each of you. Stella? Okay, you boys come in. Here's what I want to look for. Bennett, that's yours. Damien, this is yours. You go on this side. Eva, this is yours. You're welcome. Okay, I want to tell you just a little bit about what is in this gift. In the bag is a journal, and I hope you will write of your adventures in YOU and in high school and any new insights. There is a book called The Eye of the Storm for Teens in there, which is a guide to understanding and navigating the turmoils of the challenging years ahead and how to stay connected to Source and find your life's purpose. I also have included a puzzle page reminiscent of the package lesson days. It was something that I copied for them and put in the packages every week. So, now I send you forward with this hope in my heart. Here are the 5 things I hope you know. Number 1, to step back and say, "That's interesting." Number 2, to know that "Thank you, God" is a complete prayer. Number 3, that the difference between adventure and adversity is attitude. And to remember that the 5 Unity principles are the keys to a happy, successful life. And I want you to remember that I love and appreciate you, and I'm always available to all of you. And so as you cross the bridge, you guys we're going to do a call and response that we do in our class.
Well, before that, Susan, who's one of our YOU sponsor, you're the head honcho. She is going to receive them before we do that. So thank you, Susie. Thank you for all your work. How long have you been doing this?
Well, for all my life, I've worked with
All her
kids, so I
life?
don't know what the delineation is.
So if you guys want to cross, yes, give her a hand.
All right.
And so make your way across the bridge to YOU, and let's give them a
The 4
real
of you
great.
start across, and
I have something to say to each and every one of you.
Oh,
We at YOU welcome each and every one of you into YOU with open, loving arms. You are coming into a safe, loving home where you can always be you on purpose, and we all welcome you into this program. Damien, Bennett, Stella, and Eva, thank you, and we honor you.
all right. Cross the bridge. Let's give them a wonderful round of applause.
okay. Clap for them.
They're walking across
The
like
light
they
of
think
God
there's a troll.
surrounds you. You say the green one.
The light of God surrounds you.
You.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds you.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects you.
The power of,
The presence of God
watches over you.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever I am,
There God is, and all is well. Amen.
Thank you.
We have one more thing to do for you
And
guys. So our YOU is going to receive you as well. So if you can turn around and face them, they're going to do the YOU blessing just for you.
You are yours. We love you, we bless you, and we truly appreciate you. And be behold Christ. Love you, really love you.
The future of Unity North. And And so
Okay, you guys stay here.
our unit kids are up here, and we were going to fly up Torrin, and then we were going to fly in baby Henry. For those of you that don't know, Sarah Michelle, our preschool teacher, and my right-hand person had a baby 6 weeks ago. So we were going to fly him in on a carpet, but he could not be here. So you guys, we're going to do the prayer of protection song for all the people. Can we bless everybody in the whole room? All right, stand up. See if you remember. It's okay. All right, I'm going to lead you. We have to do it a cappella, so I want to put, where is God? Somebody tell me. Where is God? Where else? Everywhere. So now we're going to bless everybody in the whole room. Ready? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Good job. All right.
Okay. Before we finish with this tribute to the Uniteens, I want to bring Barbara and Jason Adamson forward. I met Barbara and Jason when their son Ollie first became a Uniteen. They've both been guides for Uniteens these past 2 years. They've been rocks of love and strength, not only for the kids, but for me. They've never said no when I've asked them for anything. Taking the kids to retreat for the weekend, doing a lesson when I'm out of town, bringing treats, providing other supplies, subbing for someone who can't be there, being playful with the kids and tuning into the mood of the class and seeing where they can best support someone who's having a hard time. As they relocate to North Carolina this summer, we want them to remember how much they have meant to us and how much we will miss them. We are so grateful for all they have brought to us. Richard, can you hand them that? We have a prayer plant. That plant is actually called a prayer plant in a brightly colored woven basket. It is to remind you that your family will always be in our prayers and that we are all woven together, many colors, many personalities shining brightly. You will always be part of our family.
So kids of all ages are flying up to the next chapter. That's what we're all doing. Yes, becoming more of ourselves every moment. Let's celebrate the kids here by singing, I Believe I Can Fly. Up on your feet, everybody.
Sarah Michelle, this is when you guys are going to go down the aisle.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. I spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. All right, Unity Lord, sing it like you mean it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. One of the smartest decisions this church ever made was hiring Reverend Julie Boniger as the minister of youth. And I just want to say, she flies, and she's got an inner child, and she does a beautiful job taking that from within to the outside. Please welcome Reverend Julie Boniger for today's message.
Thank you. It is so great to be with you guys up here, but I have to say, I miss you, but these little wise ones fill me with joy, and you're going to hear a little bit about them today. So there goes our future leaders of Unity North, right? Future leaders of our world, really. And like I said before, if we could have gotten some of those messages when we were kids, and that's our whole point of what we do downstairs, is to infuse these children with the notion that God is within them, The light of God surrounds them. They are perfect and whole however they show up. And if anything can help them in this kind of crazy world know the truth of that, then we have done our jobs. I call them the little wee prophets. And we're going to start with a story. You ready? Okay. This is called Little Soul and the Sun, and it was actually written by Neil Donald Walsh of Conversations with God fame. Once upon no time, there was a little soul who said to God,
I know who I am.
and God said,
That's wonderful, little soul. Who are you?
I am the light.
God smiled a big smile.
That's right, little soul. You are the light.
But soon, knowing who it was just not enough. Little soul wanted to be who it was, not just know it. So little soul went back to God and asked for help.
God, I know I'm the light, but how can I be the light?
Since you cannot see yourself as the light when you are the light, when you're in the light, will surround you with darkness.
In order to experience anything at all, the exact opposite of it will appear. It is a great gift, because without it, you cannot know what anything is like.
And when you get scared,
And you will get scared.
remember this,
I will send nothing but angels
playing a part
to help you understand the truth of who you are.
Yes, so little soul, you know you're the light, right? She's getting shy on me, so never mind. Let's give little soul a hand. We were all little souls. Great job. Need me to take that? You're gonna go off to class with Blue Bear. And my talk just disappeared from my iPad. So there's that. No, here it is. I'm in a homiletics course right now, and they say, always prepare for that. So little soul. So our little soul decides to come to earth to play. And in my way of thinking, we were with Source, I'm thinking, what experiences do we want to have, right? Because for me, I want to be fully human. I understand that I am a divine expression of God, but I came here for a reason. And I think we need that contrast, those experiences that are maybe unlike the truth of who we are. So for me, I jumped on the Earth cruise and I signed up for Bully Bingo. And I spent about 2 years on the dizzy cancer carousel. Really dizzy. What about you? How about, did anybody win the tournament of divorce darts? Oh, I didn't think you'd raise your hands, but that's okay. That's okay. And perhaps maybe you or a loved one signed up for the addiction arts and crafts. And I know for sure most, if not all of us, have tickets to the Judging Mothers Jamboree. It is the longest show in history, despite horrible reviews, because they're all critics. I'm sorry, Mom. So we sign up for these experiences to remember who we really are. And what little soul said, I am the light, but I need to be the light. So wading through the muck and darkness is just something that we're doing as we remember who we are. But how do we do that? So we're in these human bodies, right? And I figure, let's explore them. And I am a person that wants to know everything. I realized in my homiletics class that I speak about our minds a lot. They teach you like how to craft a sermon, what your style is, do you kind of have a shtick, or what's your go-to? And mine, neuroscience. So, did you know that our brain can process 11 million bits of information a second? But our conscious mind can only process 40 to 50 bits. I mean, that is a huge discrepancy. 11 million, but we can only process 40 to 50? So everybody hold out their thumb like this. That thumb is the amount of information that you can process at any one time. Everything's in the periphery, right? But it's like, I am tired. No, I'm not. I am loved. That is the most that we can. And my friend said, all right, put I am on your thumb, and now it's wearing off. But if you put I am, whatever you are, and Richard talked about this a few weeks ago, will follow you. That's the amount of information that we can process at any one time. So when we know, principle number 3, that our thoughts and our words have real power. So what can we do to make sure that we're using that power to remember who we are? And that is through our awareness. So if we know that that information is only as big as our thumb, we can then choose where to direct our thoughts. Now, what keeps me up at night, this has literally kept me up at night. The perception, when we're walking around in our world, it's really easy to just assume that what we're seeing out there is, in general, what other people are seeing. But one night, it occurred to me, what if my red is not red to you? And my mind went, uh-oh. Like, it really stressed me out, because it's like we take things for granted, right? I'm assuming that this blue, which, by the way, we're twins. That was the spirit, I guess, doing that. But that this blue, in my mind, this blue and that blue are the same. Does it look the same to you?
I'm wearing pink today.
Oh, I'm done. I can't. Well, we want to make sense of the world. So does anybody remember this? It's the dress that broke the internet. Yeah. How many people saw that as a blue and black dress? Raise your hands. How many people saw that as a white and gold dress? Interesting. This is what happened at first service too. So this dress broke the internet, and my theory about that was it went viral, and it was so stressful for people because we want, in this crazy world, to know that at least blue is blue, black is black, gold is gold. And there was like a half and half. Actually, most people saw it as blue and black. Unity North, which we usually say is 50-50, saw most of it as gold and white. Now, the neuroscientists actually have an answer as to why this was different for other people. It's who, say it? Does somebody know the answer? Oh, now you won't say it. Okay. What? Perception of the light. So we're talking about our light today. If you are someone who is outside more often, or were outside before you saw the picture for the first time, your eyes took out the blue light and assumed that that dress was outside. Now go back one slide. So you think it's in the shadow. If, however, you're more of an inside person or we're inside, you're taking out the gold and seeing the blue and black. So knowing that, can you shift your perception between the two?
You know what's really freaky, Julie? I've never had this happen. This screen is blue and black, but the screen in the back of the room is gold and white.
Oh, it is.
I knew I had a multiple personality all along.
That's crazy. Okay, go to the next slide, which helps us see it. So you see there in the top picture, it now makes sense that where she's in the sun looks gold and white, and where she's not is black and blue. Is that not crazy? Yeah. So here's the bad news. So if nothing is real, and it's all based on our perception, that's, we bring every experience, every encounter, everything that is filtered through the lens of who we are. Because our brain hates uncertainty. It's actually wired that way. Because back when we were running away from saber-toothed tigers, if we were just in awe of everything and going, oh, wow, look at that new cloud I've never seen, we'd get eaten. We had to stay resolute, and we had to know that when we're in that part of the desert, there are lions. So our brain fills in the information. Now, that's the scary part, unfortunately, because it fills in information based on our prior experiences. But before you panic, there is hope. If we are aware that we can change our intention, we can actually rewire our brains. But it takes a lot, and that's a different talk. Neuroplasticity, though, if you're not aware, we can rewire that because it's like a record player. The groove, it stays in the groove, it stays in the groove, and if you want to change that, you can go out, but it's going to pull back to the groove until you do it enough times. So we have the power, but we can't be too hard on ourselves because we're wired that we don't like uncertainty. So today's all about kids. So why did I talk about our brains? Because our kids were with Source really recently, right? And they come with a unique perspective on what is real and what isn't real. For a child, every cardboard box is a Viking ship and every stick is a sword or a wand, and they live in infinite potential at all times. But then we grow up, right? We grow up. Well, I get the benefit of being with your children every week, and they infuse me with that knowing that I can change what I think at a moment's notice. So children are really the ones to teach us about how to shift our perspective and show up with every single experience that we're with in a new way. Jesus knew this. So he says in Matthew 18, verse 1-5, "Who then is greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Jesus called a little child to himself and set him in the midst of them and said, "Most certainly I tell you, unless you turn and become like a child, you will in no way enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever therefore humbles himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever receives one such as a little child in my name receives me." So let's unpack that for a second. Test time. I don't think I'll ever get through a talk without asking a question. But in Unity, where do we say the kingdom of God is? Yes, you all passed. Within. The kingdom of God is within, and that's why we affirm that with the children every single week. And what the kingdom of God is the opening of our heart space to allow the divine mind to fill us with the knowing that we are the Christ presence. And when our brain is filling information in about people that, annoy you or whatever, that closes us off. But children, right? I mean, they can be stamping their feet like everything in the whole world is the worst and they can't even stand it, and you hand them a cookie and they're like, yay! I mean, everything is 0 to 100 with a child, but they stay in that infinite possibility. So what does it mean then? What did Jesus mean about becoming like a child is, in order to get to that kingdom within, we have to be like a child, and humble is that opening. We have to come before ourselves, really, to infuse that space with the idea that we are the Christ. Okay, so it could be that to get to the kingdom of God, to fully realize our divine potential, that we have to live from a place of curiosity, awe, and wonder, just like a child. So I call them we prophets all the time, and I'm going to tell you a couple stories about some of our kids. But Myrtle Fillmore, who's the co-founder of Unity, understood the power of children very deeply. She said that she had a vision in the early days that after founding Unity, she saw herself surrounded with crowds of people and, quote, many of them unruly children. And a voice within asked, "Who will take care of the children?" And the voice answered her, "You are to take care of the children. This is your work." And so began the We Wisdom magazine. Now, I don't know, how many of you know that there was a We Wisdom magazine? A few. Yeah. It actually, at one point, was the longest running children's magazine in the country. And they didn't make any, Unity was right there, but it was interdenominational. People it was like the highlights of my generation. And poems, stories, and she would ask the kids to write in and send them stories and jokes and everything, and she would answer, and her staff would answer every letter. That publication went on for 98 years. It started in August of 1893, and in 1991, they published the last issue. And they were brokenhearted, but they just could not sustain it in that digital age. And she was the editor for the first 30 years, Myrtle. So really, this was like her full-time passion and work. Here's what she has to say about her mission. And this This is where the living curriculum that Unity follows with their children kind of comes from. Myrtle said this: "Our mission is not to entertain the children, but to call them out. To be always entertained is to be dwarfed and dependent, but to be called out is to follow the harmonious law of the soul's unfoldment. Who meddles with the rosebud? What fingers are deft enough to pry open that marvel of folded beauty? We're wise enough to leave it alone, to follow the glad law of its own unfolding. But our children, have we dealt as wisely with these buds of marvelous possibility? Have we always remembered that they, too, must quicken and unfold through the innate law of their own genius?" And I found that quote when I got home from the Moonflower concert. How many people were there? Yeah, we had a great turnout. And that's something that we do every year, and those evening primroses, as most of you know, literally open before our eyes. And we would never dare to pry it open. So I had about 12 kids that came that night, and we were doing our own fun activities downstairs. But I kept telling them, we're gonna get to go and see these magical flowers, and they're gonna open before your very eyes, and you're gonna see them just go like this. And so we went out, and we had to wait. If you were there, we had to wait, because they did it on their own time. And so as they began to open, I started looking at all the children, and they were like, And Kira, are Kira's parents here today? Aw. Kira said, "I made that happen." She used her magic. And it just really hit me. It's not that they didn't appreciate the flower opening, it's that they live in an infinite potential where, of course, a flower is gonna magically open. But for us adults, we were like, this is the best thing ever, which proves my point that we can become like a child. So, I have a few lessons that I've learned from your children in the last year. Number 1, life is infinite potential and you create your own reality. Now that is principle 3, right? So they live in potential. So last week, Sadie, who's about 3, where's Whitney? There she is. Sadie is 3, and she was making a card for her mom. And she went like Van Gogh. She took the crayon and was like, and I said, "Oh, that's beautiful. What is it?" And she went, "It's a purple elephant flying without a trunk." Like, I should absolutely know that, right? And I said, "Oh." And she was so convincing that I was like, maybe there is one. I mean, it was like, how could you not know that? So living in that potential of course there's a purple elephant with no trunk. I mean, they do it, we can do it too. Lesson 2, see the face of God in everyone. Oh, just lost my talk again. That's principle number 2, right? We are inherently divine, we have a spark of divinity. So, last summer, I had a whole lesson planned, but school was starting the next day. And so I just said off the top of my head, "Is everybody ready for school?" And of course, I expected them to go, "No." But one little girl said, "No, I don't want to go back because I'm bullied." Well, I was playing bullied bingo through middle school, so I knew exactly what that felt like. So of course, my lesson got dropped, and we spent the next hour talking about bullying. And I remember being really concerned because I thought, I have to say the right thing. This kid could end up in therapy. One wrong thing that a person says to a child can really affect their whole life. I am still having the repercussions of being bullied so severely. And so then I just took a breath and I said, "All right, Spirit, have your way. I'm not going to think my way out of this. Julie does not need to say anything." And so we talked about it. And Zoe was one of the ones, and Sage, who offered some really awesome things about why is a bully a bully. And then little man Gavin, he's infamous. If you were here and I handed him a mic and he went, "Wah!" And then I handed him a mic again because Spirit told me to, and he was really chill. This little boy is from some other place because he comes up with the most heartfelt and wise things. And he looked at everybody and said, Well, hurt people hurt people. Maybe the bully forgot God lives inside him, and we can show him. And I'll go first because God is in my name. His last name is Godwin. So he was going to lead the charge, and it's like everybody just melted, all of the teachers and all of the guides. So we can see the face of God in every person. Forgive and forget. Next lesson. How many people are pretty good at forgiving at this point? Oh, wow, okay. Got some work. You have a class on that? No shame here. It is difficult. Who is less likely to forget? That's the one that is difficult, right? Yeah, it's okay to raise your hand. We can forgive. We know that we are all in the non-dual plane. We are all the same. But again, our brain doesn't want us to forget because it wants us to fill in the gap. And I told this story at first service about my father, and I don't know why it came up. But my dad was the most gentle, awesome, loyal, fiercely loyal person that I've ever known. But I grew up in the 70s, and he would say, ugh, women drivers. And I thought today, when I thought of it, I was like, wait, that's terrible. But we kind of accepted it back then a little bit. It was, but that was apparently his experience at some point. So whenever he saw a woman driving, I think he kind of projected what they might do. Because again, we only know what we experienced before unless we consciously move our attention. Forgive and forget. Kids forget almost immediately. So Friday night, Mike Stott's grandson Derek was here, and Aiden. Did he go downstairs, right? So Aiden and Derek were going to play detective. So I'm sitting there, and Derek comes up with Aiden, and he's arrested him. He's got his hands behind his back, and I said, what's going on? And he says, I've arrested him. I'm the detective. And Aiden was like, you're cutting off the blood supply. So trying to figure out, he could not let him out of custody, right? I mean, in his world, he was pretending. So I immediately said, what are the charges? And he didn't know. So I said, well, I'm the judge. And I hired a lawyer. We spent a few minutes talking about the case, but he still had his arms. Finally, Aiden had enough. So he let him go, and Aiden comes over and he goes, man, he really hurt me. Well, I'm learning a lot about how to show up with these children. And in the old days, we would say, you need to apologize. But that doesn't work. If he was not feeling sorry because he thought he was arresting him, because in his mind it was real, him saying, oh, I'm sorry, wasn't really going to do anything. So we've sort of adopted a, how can you fix it? Or what can you do? What's your part of fixing this situation? So Aiden said, man, Derek, look at my arms. I know you arrested me, but you wouldn't let go. And Derek, so I thought, what's going to happen? So Derek sat there. Now, previously, the caper they were on was to find a sign that disappeared from our classroom that was very important. And I was certain somebody had thrown it out. So they were on the caper. And I don't know if Aiden found it. I don't know why he got arrested. Still don't. So Derek sits there and he's going, I'm sorry, do you want to play again? And Aiden goes, yeah, and they got up and they left. It was like there was no more, forgive and forget, and they were best buds. They went off, and they found the sign. Derek came up with the sign in his hands, and I have a picture. I meant to put it up. He was so proud of himself, and I was not faking it. I was like, where did you find this? And he said, well, I looked for the evidence. He said, I went over to where it was on the wall. There was tape residue. So then... There was tape residue. So I went over there, and I saw there was tape residue there, and so I looked behind, and there was the sign. It was like, wow. These are the kind of things I get to do every single week. The last lesson, the most fun, embrace your extra. I have been told that I'm extra. I mean, really, who thinks that? Thank you. I'm embracing my extra. Did anybody ever see that Friends episode where Phoebe and Monica, go for a run. And Phoebe's running like this. Ooh, sorry. Phoebe's running like this. And Monica's like, oh my gosh, I cannot be seen with her. She's running like a crazy person. And by the end of the episode, Phoebe basically says, that is what brings me joy. I'm going to run like a child. And so by the end, Monica's like, whoa, gets all into it. I have decided at 53, I'm going to embrace my extra. You maybe see me in pigtails. I'm going to keep wearing them. They make me happy. Thank you. Is Colleen in the room? Colleen, Friday night. I have a thing where I think sloths are magical. I have never been in the presence of a sloth in my life. And my theory was, if it ever happened, that I would be so emotional that I would cry. Friday night, my friends said, oh my gosh, that woman has a sloth with her. How many people met that sloth? Yeah, right? He was everywhere. And I said, nobody's gonna bring a sloth. They're like endangered. They convinced me so much that that sloth was real that I started to cry. I went to my child, infinite possibility, and I looked at Colleen, and this was my first hint. She saw me crying, and she started to go, uh-oh. It, of course, was not a real sloth, but that means that whenever I do come in contact with a real sloth, I'm going to cry, and I am okay with that because they are magical. So I'm going to invite you to embrace your extra. And at first service, we did this, and it was magical. But I invited people to start to play. So I want everybody really quick to think of something they can do this week that your inner child wants to do that maybe you think is a little too extra. So I'm going to give you just a few seconds. Is anybody ready? Can you shout it out? Climb a tree. That happened in first service. I grew up with 3 apple trees. Climbing a tree, that is awesome. Somebody else? Barefoot in the rain. Oh, so you're Mother Nature now? You're going to make it rain? It's going to rain today. Go out and jump in the puddles. How many people loved that when they were little? I was allowed to do it, but only if there wasn't lightning. All right, yell another one out. We're infusing this energy with a childlike openness of finding the kingdom of God within. Play jacks. That's fun. What? Finger paint. That is fun too. Do they have edible finger paint? Because that would be fun. Play in the dirt. Why? It is grunty. Will you find worms? That's fun. All day. All right, a couple more. What? A cannonball in the pool? That is awesome. Cannonball! That's a good one. Do you have a hoverboard? Bailey, are you going to let him ride your hoverboard? Oh, yes. John Jackson at the first service is going to buy a skateboard. And my first thought, I went back into my adult mind, and I fell off a ladder 2 weeks ago, and I thought, John, you shouldn't do that. And then I was like, oh, I just did not take my own advice. Yes, buy the skateboard, but please wear a helmet. So I'm going to encourage you. I told first service I'll get up early and come next week because I want to hear what we did to play. It actually raises our immune systems. It can help with anxiety and depression. So before you come next week, I'll be downstairs, but Reverend Richard is going to ask you what you did. And so just to finish out, we're going to follow our light. The beauty of this earthly game is that like little soul, we can remember who we are and be who we are, even in this human experience. And when we do, when we shine our light, when we're willing to be extra, when we're willing to do what our soul calls to do and shed that notion that we're adults and you shouldn't have a pink room and you shouldn't have lights everywhere and you shouldn't wear pigtails, when we let that go, our light grows brighter. And guess what happens? You see my light and your light. You see her light and your light. And pretty soon all our light is lighting up the entire world, and I'm convinced that that is how we're going to get to a place of world peace. And so, little souls everywhere, let's go out and play. Thank you. So I'm going to invite... Thank you. Julie Steele, I love you so much. Julie Steele gave me a card, and I didn't get it until just recently because I don't come. I love you so much. Those little things mean a lot. So I'm going to invite our YOU up. Caroline. Is she? Where? Here she is. She is going to lead us in a quick meditation to get us into that space. Are you going to sing first, Richard?
I'm just waiting for my cue. I wait for the boss to get the first word and the last word. So you're the boss this morning.
I'm the boss.
Do
All
me a
right.
favor, everybody, put your thumb out there and say the word love. And the word service. Remembrance. We're going to take into Caroline's meditation the song Love, Serve, and Remember. Take a deep breath with me. And let's go ahead and give me a little bit of chords there. And as the lights begin to come down, let's prepare the manger of the child's heart within us as we sing these words: to love, to serve, and to remember. Why? I need a B flat chord. Why? Hold on, one more time. Give me a little bit of chord progression. Why have we? We're working out things with the piano player, and we're figuring keys out. I'm going to come over here, Caroline. Bear with me. Pay no attention to the man behind the microphone. Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Why have we come to love, serve, and remember? To love, serve, and remember. Now that we've got it from the top, why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Why have we come to love, serve, and remember? To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the meditation. Thank you all for being here to support the Youth of Unity. I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze if that is comfortable, and take a deep breath. On the exhale, allow your body to relax, releasing any tension that you may be holding. As you settle into a comfortable position, imagine yourself surrounded by a soft, warm glow. Feel this gentle light embracing you, enveloping you in a loving embrace. Now, shift your attention inward. Begin to focus on your breath, feeling the steady rhythm of inhalation and exhalation. With each breath, imagine that you're drawing in the pure, radiant energy of the divine. Visualize a small glowing ball of light at the center of your being. This is the God light within you, the spark of divinity that shines brightly. Feel its warmth and brilliance expanding with each breath, filling your entire being. Breathe in and out. As you bask in the radiance of your inner God light, take a moment to reflect on its qualities. This divine light is a source of unconditional love, compassion, and wisdom. It is the essence of your true nature. As this divine light continues to expand, imagine it permeating every cell of your body, illuminating and healing any areas that may need attention. Allow the light to dissolve any tension, discomfort, or negativity, replacing it instead with a peace and harmony. Let go of any judgments or any limitations that you may place upon yourself. Embrace the boundless potential and limitless possibilities that arise from your divine essence. Know that you are a co-creator with the universe, and that your intentions and actions can bring about positive change in your life and in the world and in the lives of the people around you. You are creating an immeasurable corridor of light from the source of creation through your entire being and deep into the core of Mother Earth. You are becoming the vibrations and the frequencies of the healing white light. When you breathe out the white light, you send its healing energy out to all of humanity. Take a moment to breathe in this newfound sense of peace and acceptance. As you continue your journey, remember that every soul you encounter plays a unique role in your life's story. Each interaction offers an opportunity for love, forgiveness, and for growth. You are light. You are love. As we go into the silence, allow your pure divine essence to flow out and connect with the light from all the little souls sharing this sacred space. Now, gently bring your awareness back to the present moment. Feel the weight of your body against the surface that you're resting on. Move your fingers and toes, gradually reawaking your senses. Know that the divine light within you, it is always accessible, a constant source of love and of guidance. Carry this awareness with you as you navigate your day, shining your light and sharing your gifts with the world. You, little soul, have come to earth to love yourself and others, to serve humanity and Mother Earth. And remember that you are light, you are love, and that you are a child of the divine. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. If you recognize that beautiful voice, it was Caroline and Bennett that were hiding from you all during the Little Soul moment. But thank you for that beautiful moment earlier as well. And as we move into offering and we have our ushers coming forward with the baskets and prayer chaplain with the prayer box, I really feel like I don't have to say much here at all. Like, today is why we do what we do. We are here to support and grow this next generation of love and light by shining our love and light. And together, as Julie said, this is a step towards peace within ourselves, but world peace. So thank you, all of you, for being here and shining your light and energy. And as we move into offering time, we remember there are various ways that we can give. The ushers have baskets so that we can give in person in the baskets, but you can also pull out your phones and use technology and give in the app or in the website. So many different ways to give, and we are thankful in advance for everything that you do for Unity North. Together, let's bless our offerings in advance. And we say, I am so blessed. I am so prosperous. And it is my great pleasure to share of my blessings and to share of my prosperity. And in the giving, the entire world is blessed. Thank you, God. And together we're going to sing our offering song.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. So thank you, Reverend Julie. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you to the chaplains. Thank you to Jeannie. Thank you to Brian sitting in today. I appreciate you. We threw him to the wolves. The minister's going to sing on the first day he's playing for us. I really appreciate it. We went into the Bob Dylan hymn book. We're going to go into the Rod Stewart hymn book. Another one that I know that you know. Let's count this off and let's sing one more time, Forever Young. May the good Lord be with you down every road you roam. And may sunshine and happiness surround you when you're far from home. And may you grow to be proud, dignified, and true. And always do unto others as you'd have done to you. Be courageous and be brave, and in my heart you will remain forever young, forever young. May good fortune be with you, may your guiding light be strong. Build a stairway to heaven with a prince or vagabond. And may you never love in vain, and in my heart you will remain forever young. Come on now, forever young, hoping that I served you well. For all the wisdom of a lifetime, no one can ever tell. But whatever road you choose, I'm right behind you, win or lose, forever young, forever young, forever young. Sing that with me. Forever young. Mr. Will Hodge on the guitar. You want more of that? Let's get a little more. Come on, Will, keep it going. All right, let's hear it again. Forever young. Forever young. Forever young. I want to hear you sing that with now, Buck. Here we go. Come on, get your hips involved. Be an inner child. You got two more on you? Let's hear it. Forever young. Forever young. I said I'd give her the last word. Reverend Julie gets the last word.
Do your fun, infuse yourself, play a little. We are so happy to have you in our spiritual community. Thank you for shining a light, and have a good week.
A few more times now. Forever young. A little a cappella. Cut the band off. Let's hear it, guys.
Forever young.
Ooh, you sound so good, so good now.
Forever young. We got a new choir.
Come on, kids, take it out of here. Forever young. Forever young. Go be a kid, go play in the puddles. Have a great week.
Thank you. Were you sitting right over there? I saw you watching. Are you a drummer? touching me like a